What are we talking about?
So we are going to talk about how the coronavirus has affected Hollywood.
For the fourth time. Yes. So, my biggest question is, how much would you pay to have a brand new movie in your living room instead of at the theater? Because
$10 a month.
You want to do
what we're paying right now.
That's what
I was going to say. $10.
A subscription service?
We're already paying for subscription service. The news is that because the theaters have been shut down, a lot of the releases that were planned for March, April, even going into May have been pushed back and put on hold indefinitely. And so now studios are like, well, everyone's quarantined at home. We have all these streaming services. Why don't we release some of these movies on streaming, bypass the theaters or release them early and, give people content. And so you've had announcements that Birds of Prey, which is still in theaters, it's going to be released next week on streaming. A lot of Universal stuff like The Invisible Man is going straight.
Which is a big hit, too.
Yeah, it was a big hit in the theaters, and they're putting it on streaming early. And Marvel just announced that Black Widow is being delayed, but there's talk that they might put that on Disney Plus instead of doing the theatrical release. So, I mean, this could be something where, because theaters are shut down, a lot of people who haven't subscribed to streaming in the past move over to streaming, and you're going to see a lot of these companies push out content
Try
early.
to entice them to get on. Who does Universal use as a streaming service?
They have their Peacock network.
Is that out already?
I don't think it's out yet, but they're probably still got some type of deal with Netflix or Hulu or something like that. I'm not sure.
Hulu's owned by Disney. So.
But you got CBS All Access. You got Disney Plus, which desperately needs new content. You got Netflix, Amazon. You got all these.
Well, they just released services. Frozen 2 and The Rise of Skywalker. Disney Plus is rocking.
Yeah, they released The Rise of Skywalker early, too.
Yeah. Which
I don't think it's on Disney Plus, though.
Yeah.
It is? Mm-hmm. Rise is on Disney Plus.
Right now, yeah. You can stream it.
Damn, I better go not watch that.
Saw that coming.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I never really considered it to be a part of the streaming service thing. I thought it would be more of like a pay-per-view type thing. So, like, if you want to see this movie that's out in theaters or was supposed to be out in theaters, you can pay an extra fee because they have to make up for the ticket sales. You can't just do a normal, because a normal ticket to the theater is like $15, and normally people don't go alone. They usually take a family with them, at least, maybe one or two people. So you're talking about like $30 to kind of compensate for the loss in the theaters. And then if somebody has a streaming party, like, hey, I rented this movie, let's have 10 people over, that's a huge loss for the studios.
But here's the thing you have to take into account. So with theaters, ticket prices get split with the exhibitor. So
how much? Like 20, 30 or 27?
It's usually a sliding scale. So it's like first week is like 90, 10 for the studio, and then it goes down every week that the movie's out until it kind of bottoms out at 50-50. But in addition to that, there are distribution costs to put movies in theaters. So getting the print made, delivering it to the theater, like stuff like that.
How much does that really cost though? With the digital age?
Hundreds of millions.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, it seems surprisingly high.
I mean, they got to encrypt stuff. They have to prevent piracy from happening. So there's a lot of stuff going on now with streaming services. First of all, the studios control the platform. So it's super cheap to distribute stuff right to their own platform. But more than that, streaming services are subscription based. And so, you might get $15 for a ticket and only $10 a month for a streaming service, but that's monthly because most people who subscribe to a streaming service, they'll subscribe for multiple months. And so like the value of a subscriber is far greater for a streaming service than it is for a single ticket buyer. And, like I told you, I went to go cancel my Disney Plus subscription because I was like, there's nothing on here that we watch.
Yeah.
And when I logged into my account, I was like, oh crap, I paid for the year. So I was like, oh, whatever.
I paid for the year too, but it was only like $70. I have a hard time imagining that breaks even with a $200-300 million movie.
Do you have a hard time believing that the cell phone industry doesn't make any money with monthly bills? I mean, there's a reason why
my cell phone bill is like $200.
There's a reason why all these companies are moving to a subscription model, and that's because the compounding revenue from these things is huge money, and they get to control the distribution platform.
I guess.
So do you think that subscription fees are going to start going up now that everyone's sequestered in their home?
Probably not.
They have an edge on the market though. Because what are we going to do?
Yeah,
Say
what else
no?
are we going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cancel our subscription and not watch movies?
Yeah. Read books? Gross.
Oh, God. Read Matthew Kadish's Lawman out March 20th?
Coming out March 20th?
That was smooth.
Thanks.
Nobody reads anymore.
Also available on audible.com. Not a sponsor of the podcast, but they should be.
So what you guys are saying though, really, is I'm gonna have to spend more money to watch it by myself.
Yeah.
Because you have 4 kids at home and you have to spend.
Yeah, so exactly. So I talked to a buddy of mine at work. He's got like a freaking ton of kids. He's got like 4 or 5 kids or something like that. And he's like, oh, I went to the movies the other day to go see something or other. I can't remember what movie they went to see. And it was like $100 for tickets.
Yeah.
So that's $100. You know, most of that's going to go to the studio. Some
How
of
many
it's going to go
tickets
to the
did he
theater.
buy?
I'm assuming one for each one of his family members.
How many family members does he have?
I don't know. $100. It's like 7 people, right? Plus popcorn and all the other shit. It was an expensive night. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to miss out on that type of money. But I guess if you're thinking about, like, you put out one movie and then people are paying for multiple months.
The thing is like kids don't have to go to the theater. You know, like if you have young kids, you know, the theater could be something for adults and you could just keep the kids at home with the TV.
I like taking my kid to the theater, though.
And also, I mean, a lot of people bring their kids to the movies because they assume that their kids will sleep through the movies and it's cheaper than a babysitter.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I've never done that, but okay.
Well, no, but I mean, it mathematically, it makes sense. Like, you have to pay a babysitter, what, $10 an hour? Or you could just buy a kid's ticket for $10.
Yeah.
Like, you're gone for like 5 hours and you're paying that babysitter to stay with your kid. It's way cheaper to just bring your kid with you. How many times have you been to a movie and you've been like, oh my God, there's a couple here with a kid that's at an inappropriate age to be in this movie theater? It's because they can't afford to, or they don't want to pay a babysitter to stay home with their kid. It's not because I'm being an asshole right now, but it's not because like, oh, I love my kid so much, I want my kid with me all the time. It's because you don't want to pay for a babysitter to stay home with your kid.
Is that why they took their kid to Alien Covenant at 10 o'clock at night?
Yep.
Sons of bitches.
So an interesting aspect of this is that up to now, so studios have flirted with in the past with doing simultaneous like theatrical and home video releases, and they've largely stayed away from that because it pisses off the theater owners, like the exhibitors.
They're going to go out of business.
And the exhibitors, you know, like they are a huge chunk of Hollywood's not only infrastructure but also their revenue model.
And also that you have to be in theaters for a week in LA in order to apply for any kind of an award.
Yeah, but I mean, like that, those rules can be changed. The real thing here is that, like, if the theater owners saw home video as a threat, they could just say, like, okay, we're not going to carry any of your movies in our theaters, and like that's how they were able to bully the studios into keeping away from these like early streaming releases. So any original movie that you see released on streaming, it's streaming exclusive. It was never out in theaters, and if it was like maybe like one theater to get like the award nod that Alex was talking about. But with this situation, so you have situations where theaters are being closed. I think AMC said they were going to be closed for up to 90 days. You know, so like 3 months. And in a situation like that, this gives a window of opportunity for the theaters to get past that threat studios to get past that threat and really kind of push their streaming services and see if they can kind of get a toehold in the, you know, straight to streaming, straight to home video market. And that means that when the theaters come back online, they're going to have to start doing stuff to really compete with home video. Now, this isn't the first time that you know
not sell popcorn for like $19 a bucket.
Right.
No, I'm talking about stuff like the Screen X stuff where you have literally like a 360 degree movie experience, advanced 3D, more stuff like having food delivered to your recliner in the theater and offering like alcoholic beverages and stuff like they're gonna have to step up their game in order to draw people away from the comfort of their home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this shapes out and affects the industry.
That's a good point.
They're going to have to go open bar.
Yeah, if they do. And again, the prices are freaking ridiculous for some of that stuff. I spent like $25 on a drink. It was ridiculous. So
Yeah, but if they said $25 fee for alcohol and then it's just bottomless at that point.
Yeah, no, that brings up a good point that they're going to have to step up their game, and they're going to have to, because everybody has like a 75-inch Ultra 4K TV nowadays. They're going to have to bring something to the table that's bigger than that.
Well, it was the same
newer
thing.
Than that.
Same thing that happened when TVs became common in the home. They were all like, TVs are going to kill theaters, and then the theaters came out with CinemaScope, which was the widescreen format. And so, like, people are like, oh, when you go to the theater, you get
a better view,
a better experience. And so theaters are going to have to keep upping the experience, level of going to see a movie in the theater. Because a lot of people hate going to the theater.
I love it. But
yeah, I mean, like,
cinema
I love it too.
nerds, so that makes sense.
And people like to go out on dates and get away from the house, and it's great to go see a movie and stuff like that. So I don't think theaters are ever going to truly die, but they are going to have to start doing stuff to compete with the level of home video. And the real question becomes, where's the content going to be? Because if all the studios stop putting their movies in theaters, it's going to be like, well, okay, yeah, you can go and have this great experience at the theater, but what are you going to watch?
So here's another question that I'll kind of theorize to you guys. Do you see, once the theaters get hit hard by this 90-day shutdown and possibly not be able to recover anytime soon, do you see studios buying out the theaters and having like, hey, this is a Disney theater and we only exclusively show Disney movies?
I don't think that's allowed.
Not allowed to do that?
I think there's an antitrust issue with that, because you can't control the means of production and distribution, I think.
Okay. That's smart. Good job, government.
But that's also why, like...
Just on that one thing.
Just the whole thing.
That's also why I think, didn't China come in and buy out, like, AMC or something?
China?
Yeah.
Forever will be known as China.
China
virus.
So let me ask a question around the table. Matt Vader, what is a theater experience for you? Or what's going to draw you out of your home to get you to the theater?
So I don't go to the theater as much as probably as you guys do, but when I do, it's for big event popcorn movies, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Not
any Star Wars anymore,
but the big events, the Marvel movies, that kind of stuff. I like the movie experience. I like the big screen with the sound and all that kind of stuff. Like something that I can't get at home. Mm-hmm. I can watch an Oscar movie at home in like 1917 or something like that, and it'd be fine. But for some of these bigger movies, it's different. I want that theater experience for something like that. So,
what about you, Jude?
To be honest, it's hard to get me to the movies. Matt can attest to this. Like, I never want to go to the movies. I would much rather just stream it from my couch and not have to put on pants and not have to pay for wine. I would much rather watch a movie on the couch. But for me, if like what draws me to the theaters is like an event, sort of like Vader was saying, but when It came out and It too, like I love horror movies.
Yeah.
I got a group of friends together and I was like, we're going to go to the theater. We're going to go get some drinks first. We'll go get some food. We'll make it an event. Yeah, we'll make it a thing. It'll be a fun, like it's a party. And we'll go and watch this movie and get the bejesus scared out of us. And for me, that's really the only thing that gets me out. If it's just like, sorry, babe, me and Matt, I'm just like, oh, can we just stay home? So I don't know. I don't need the movie experience. I would much rather just be in the comfort of my home.
I do. I'm more of the theater type, mostly just to get out of the house.
Fucking theater kid.
I am. I love it. I like going. I don't ever pay for like popcorn or drinks or anything like that. I'm sorry, theater chains, but that's out of my range. But I'll buy the ticket.
He loves the popcorn. It's an experience for him.
Fuck, they're stupid.
Yeah,
popcorn.
I'm not big on movie food and junk either.
And as far as the drinks go, I always pregame anyway. I'll just make my wife drive and be like,
We're the same person, Alex.
we never go into the theater without my wife having a bottle of water tucked in her purse.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes.
We take full advantage of the diaper bag.
Nice.
Because we have kids now, so we can carry around a backpack and be like, oh, there's just diapers and wipes in there.
When they
we
charge
stuff it.
$18 for a Coke,
realistically, for snacks, for a piece of candy, a drink, and maybe a small popcorn, you're paying the same price that you did for the ticket to get in the door.
Yeah.
It's like I understand that's how the movie theaters make their money back from getting gouged by the movie people, but
maybe they need to start sticking it to them, taking more of a profit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. $12 for a 60-cent bucket of popcorn.
You see the same thing at like theme parks and stuff too, though. Food is just marked up unbelievably. Same with the Strip.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
It's like a tourist trap. Anywhere that's popular to go to, you're gonna get gouged for food and beverage.
Yeah, remember that time we went to the luxury theater downtown?
Oh my God.
And Jude was treating me, so... I was,
mistake.
Yeah. she ended up spending, how much was
it was $100.
That was just like for food.
Just for the food?
Yeah. I was like, can I just have a water? And they brought me like one of those big glass vases that was like $10. And I was like, oh no.
Bottle vase.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? At this point, I might as well just buy a bottle of wine. I was like, just...
It was like a full menu
put it on the
thing
tab.
where like they actually make you food and bring it to your seat. It was very nice, but it was expensive.
And they closed down.
I think that didn't have anything to do with the prices.
It was because nobody went there.
No, it was because the guy who he ran out of money to pay the lease on the building
because nobody went there.
He had some financing issues. I think that my big theater experience, the coolest theater experience I ever had. It was a terrible movie. It was Rampage with The Rock.
Oh yeah,
you went with Kayla, right?
It's Jude's favorite movie because it's got 3 of her man crushes in it.
Oh my God!
Was it The Rock, Negan,
and Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan
and Joe Monta. Nobody knows how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, the werewolf guy from True Blood. So, I went to see it with...
Put me in a pile up with those 3.
Yeah.
Let me die.
I went to see it with our friend Kayla, and it was this thing called Screen X. And basically, a typical movie, they have a projector that projects the movie in front of you. But with Screen X, they have other projectors that also project it on the sides. So like on your left side and on your right side and in front of you. So it's like this panoramic, almost immersive experience where when the movie's playing out, you've got... you can't see the theater. It's just you're in the movie almost. And it's better than 3D. It was better than anything I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, this is awesome. Like me and Kayla came out of that movie. We were like, the movie was okay, but the experience was amazing. And like, that's the type of thing that I'd like to see more of. You kind of got that a little bit with IMAX in the sense that when you shot a movie in IMAX and you had the big IMAX screen, it was like this really immersive experience where you got to see like so much more of the picture. But the Screen X stuff is like way, way cooler. And that's something that like you would have to go to the theater for because you can't get that experience at home. And I'm hoping that more theaters kind of start adopting that technology, especially considering the fact that I hate 3D. Like I hate having to wear 3D glasses while I'm watching a movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Screen X, you don't need glasses. It's just this like almost 360-degree screen that surrounds you.
One step closer to holograms.
Yeah.
One step closer. We're going to get there soon.
Holodex?
Or maybe like how they do the silent, I forget what it's called. I'm so old. It's the silent dance parties. How they like give everybody the headphones or the earbuds or something, and you go in and you just hear the music just in your ears. If they did something like that in movie theaters, so
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a way to keep
It's like you walk into a room and everybody's got headphones on,
jumping around dancing.
It's a real sensory experience.
It's also a way to keep the police from hitting you with noise complaints.
Yeah.
So you can have raves and stuff without disturbing the neighbors.
These guys just blew my mind. That's crazy.
You're younger than all of us. You should know this stuff.
That's completely to your generation.
I don't get out much.
You need to take one of those quizzes that tells you how old you really are.
I'm your age. I'm not even joking.
Because I'm like 68.
I've done that before, and I'm like in my 50s as far as the test is concerned. All my pop culture references are from the 70s and 80s, and I'm out of touch with my generation. So I'll call you millennial people. I'm Gen X, baby. I don't care what my birthday is.
He's a boomer.
He's not a boomer.
I'm not a boomer.
I'm not a boomer.
Make sure you stay home.
You just keep making me snort.